Hey everybody, Fwhip here, and welcome on back to the 1.16 survival world of Building with Fwhip, where we are back over here in the medieval city, and I am so very excited to start off today's episode. We've got a lot of awesome stuff going, and starting off here, I have completed the statue. A lot of people seem to think that that was an absolutely amazing idea to be able to build a statue out here, and I think it worked out really, really well. On top of that, you might see a little bit of a spoiler of a time lapse coming up here. I've been doing a lot of work underneath the water. We decided to take a break from the nether streams so far this week, and I've been working underwater, going back to the aquatic update on this one. But folks, the plan for today's episode is going to be starting off the new manor over in this area. We're going for like a navy themed like admiral's quarter or something like that up in here, like the Grand Admiral. I don't really even know what that would be called, but that's going to be sitting right up here. I'm super excited for it. We got a lot of terraforming to go, and we've got a lot of planning to do in today's episode, so I think that is going to be looking pretty fantastic. On top of that, one thing you might be noticing is on the thumbnails, I've started to include the episode number yet again on those. So we're up there, and this is episode 305 of this series in total. We've been around this world quite a few times doing all these different things and stuff, and who knows what's going on everywhere. But folks, if you want to see more of that, please be sure to leave a like button down on the video for me. That would be absolutely awesome. It's a little bit of a test here. I know typically when you go with that larger episode number, it's more daunting for people to start a series because they're like, I don't want to watch 304 episodes to be able to know what's going on here. So we're going to do a little bit of tests for a while. So if you want to see those, please be sure to show some support down there below. That all being said though, folks, I think it's time that we go ahead and get this episode started, get you all caught up here on everything that's been going on. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and kick this off in a good old-fashioned time-lapse mode for the first time in today's episode and do some underwater terraforming. Wow, that was hard to say. Now, for a lot of the terraforming that I'm doing over here is, first and foremost, we just needed to take down a bunch of the blocks that were under the water. They were just in the way, and it looked really, really bad from up above ground, and it was just all of this stone and everything in here. Random piles of just areas that I just hadn't bothered clearing out before because I was like, oh, it's a few blocks underwater. And this is one of those things, one of those simple things that you can do inside your Minecraft world. It takes a few hours for sure, but it's just polishing it off and just makes it feel so much more finished. It's one of those projects that I absolutely never want to deal with. I was just like, it's fine, I'm just gonna leave it down there, but it was always something that always bothered me. It was one of those Minecraft projects that in 2 hours here, we were able to clean out everything down here and actually get a lot of sand placed down on it. And granted, 2 hours is a lot of time, but it's one of those things that I've been leaving sitting here for, I think we started this project of the city about a year and a half ago. It's sat here for this long, so finally we're able to get through this one. But for the plan for this one is to turn the entire seafloor near the city docks into a sandy area. Then, similar to the docks that we had created down in River Rose, where we used a lot of, or sorry, not the docks, the beach area, where it had a lot of tide pools and just rocky things and dead coral and stuff like that all over the area. That's what I really want to be focusing on in this point, is adding in a lot of that just detail on top of the sand with rocks. Maybe we'll have some sunken ships and things like that, which we're actually going to be tackling here soon. But also one thing that I want to mention to y'all as we're placing in a bunch of sand throughout here is, do you like the talking on top of these time lapses with the subtle music in the background, or do you like just the music playing in the background? Be sure to let me know that down in the comments below. I'm kind of trying to change things up for this series here and bring it back to a point where I'm very excited for this, and I feel like I can improve the series. So any thoughts that you have on things that we can do to improve this one over here, please be sure to let me know that down in the comments below. But we're getting the last little bits of sand in here. Just did this for now. Let's jump back into the world. As I had mentioned, I was looking for a few little things of feedback about things that we can do around this series to make it a little bit more interesting here. I'm almost thinking, I'm playing with the idea of every 5 or 6 episodes, we move to a new location. So we spend 5 or 6 episodes working on something here, finish up that project, then we move somewhere else, work on something for 5, 6 episodes, move away, and maybe we do like 5 or 6 in the mountains, and please don't fall off here. But anyways, if you think that's a cool idea, be sure to let me know. But inside of here, that's not the shulker box I wanted. This is the shulker box I wanted. This is all of the coral I have to my name currently. So unfortunately, to do a lot of detailing down here, we're going to need a lot more of this stuff. One thing I do need to remind myself of is we let this thing die up here like that. And then is it Silk Touch or is it Shears? It's Silk Touch. Okay, perfect. I'm going to make a bunch of the dead ones down here. I don't want too much color. I want to be more of a gray down here. I don't want to be a bright and colorful coral reef underneath. I just feel like that would look off. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time killing off some of these little coral things that we got and be able to put them down there as like more dead ones. Just adding a different color to the gray tones that we have. Or adding shag carpet to our boat. Think that's a good idea as well. Very, very nice. And finally getting some of the full blocks here as well, which should be enough for us to at least get some work done down there. I want to just experiment with a small corner today with you all here, and we can get the style down here correctly and then see where we're going on that one. Unfortunately, me being the clean freak that I am outside of my chest room, is I removed the beacon and the conduit. So we have no way to breathe down here. So we are going to be using the old door trick in Java Edition where we place a door and then we got our air pocket. But the first thing I noticed when I came down here is this was actually really flat. So I'm going to just add these guys down here just as a quick way to get some more detail in. I think that'll look nice. I think that'll be okay. It just adds an extra little bit of a lip to it, just rounding off the base even more. But underneath here, previously the land was at this layer. So if the tide went down at all, it would just mean this boat was going to be resting on the bottom of the ocean, which is really not that good in my opinion, because you know that's kind of not where boats should be. They should be floating. So I brought this thing down a bunch in here, and I think it's looking awesome. And then what we can do outside of that is first and foremost just bring in some cobblestone. Is I want to start building up some rocky areas on top of kind of where we put all of this sand. I'm thinking it's kind of time that we start bringing in some rocks. Which, adding in a few little slabs in here, I know that's all going to be water, like not waterlogged, so we'll have to fix that here soon. But I'm thinking it'll be a good way that we can get a cool little bit of area down here that'll be something that we can build into a cool rocky structure. Now this down here is going to be a massive pain because I did not do this correctly as far as getting water along all of these areas, but that's okay. I'll have to figure that out eventually. Right now this is all water, flowing water basically. This layer and down is just not going to work out too well for us. But there we go. That's the general starting rock structure for this one. And grabbing out some of our dead coral things that we have throughout here, we can start bringing in a few of these. And I did leave behind a few of the colored ones because I was thinking about it, and a little splash color here and there might not be a bad idea for us. We can do something like that, just getting a few of those in here, and then start decorating the seafloor out a little bit more with some of the dead ones. And we start to get something more like this down here. Unfortunately, I didn't bring any kelp with me, which is probably pretty useful. So I think I'm just going to trim a few off the top of this guy. And dotting in a few of these around here, that should help to kind of bring in more of that liveliness aspect to it. The movement of the kelp inside of this game really helps this area feel a lot more alive and underwater and just like things are moving. So I need to get some bone meal as well. In the absolute mess of chests and shulker boxes that we have down here, I had 1 stack of bone meal. Sounds good to me. Now, one thing I want to do before we bone meal this area is I feel like filling in the ground a lot with some of the full blocks of like the dead corals, mixing in some of our cobblestone, our mossy stone, and all of that is actually really going to make this area feel a lot better, having kind of a rocky base to the seafloor instead of everything just being super cleaned up here and everything like that. I feel like the rocky base is really going to make it look a lot cooler. So just replacing some of the sand that we have down here with this should honestly help this area feel so much more completed. And there we go. I think that's looking pretty sweet so far, in my opinion, as far as just something simple that we can do down here. It only took 12 minutes of even walking you all through this, of coming up with the entire design that we have. So adding in more rocks like this guy around the place and doing some more smaller ones and things like here, I think is going to be a great way that we can make this a lot more interesting. So let me spend a little while down here. I'll get this little bay, I guess we could call it, or the boat stall. I don't know, something, everything. I'm drowning. Scuba Flip reporting for duty as we go underwater here. It is time for the update on this little section. I completely ran out of coral, so I wasn't able to do as much as I wanted to. I ran out a lot of the coral fans, but we've got a little bit of the live stuff, but we're going to need to go gather that up here soon. Most likely, if we want to finish this thing, because, well, I'm using a lot of the stuff out here. And one thing that I'm actually looking at right now as I want to fix this up is a little bit more of the mossy stuff right in there. But as you can see, I brought in a big rock over here. I brought in some rocks down at the base. We got some of this stuff, mixing it up down here and all that good stuff going on. And let's do some more coral fans. And I'm realizing now I didn't really put kelp around anywhere. But this is the base idea that I have so far in here. I really like it. We got some of the fish swimming around in here as well. I believe this is actually what biome? Yeah, we're in plains biome, so fish don't normally spawn in here. Unfortunately, the ocean area where we have all the land that we chunked out there was actually originally plains biome. All right, that should be good for the kelp in here, and then I just got to get a little bone meal in as well. A lot of the way I've been doing the bone meal is the seagrass gets really intense when you first do it, so I'm kind of bone mealing a spot, then breaking away a good amount of it, and not really even leaving too many of the tall ones in here because I feel like they're just a little busy. And even from above water, it is looking pretty solid. I think that's a good start for ourselves. Let me know if you have any other ideas on things that we can do down here. Also, should we spend the time to bring in fish? We could bucket a bunch of the salmon and move them inside of here, but I think we did that before, and then they all just kind of moved out that way. In this kelp forest over here, we're going to be taking down a lot of that as well. Moving on now from working on the docks area underneath, or the underside of the docks, is I want to get some terraforming done for the area that we can't see, and we still can't see it. On the far side of those buildings is I want to start working on the new manor house that we're going to be building for the head of the Navy, so the Admiral. I don't know. Somebody tell me what that thing's called. I don't know. But anyways, over here we have this other raised up platform where we have the wizard castle and everything like that, and it's got this cool little like cliff feature to it, which is something that I think I want to continue embodying. So we've got some oak leaves, we've got a lot of stone and just kind of bold blocky shapes, which I think I'm going to stick with for this one here as well. We might come back in and smooth them out, and that's really, I don't know why I did that. But anyways, on top of that, we've got some oak leaves, we've got some coarse dirt, we've got some grass, we've got some random flowers and things, a little bit of podzol, it looks like, underneath the trees. And that looks like a great way for ourselves to get started on this one. I think we're just going to do it up with the grass and maybe some coarse dirt and oak leaves around the edge here, folks. But I've got a plan in mind for how I would like to transform this area. And, well, it's going to be a big old transformation, as we might want to call that word here. And I'm thinking what we're going to do is bring a road from this point right in here. We're going to split the road off so that way it goes down to the docks. So we're going to have another way that goes, maybe we'll split it right behind this building right here and then move it off that way and then up there. I'm not too sure. But anyways, folks, what I do know, it is time to kick this off into good old-fashioned time-lapse mode and build up a mountain, a hill, a plateau, something, land. We're building land. Interruption before the time-lapse. Woo! I realized that I didn't have any dirt. Well, I didn't have enough dirt to do this thing, and I came up here to raid dirt from my dirt supplies that I have for building all this custom terrain and everything like that, and, well, unfortunately, it's almost all empty. Okay, I think I got enough to make this happen. We'll see how far. I think I've got like 4 shulker boxes. Hopefully that's enough. I really hope that's enough. And now it's time-lapse time. Woo! And there we have it, folks. We've got a brand new mountain plateau, something or another over here to build on top of. And look at all these new little structures we've got planned out back here. I didn't want to just have the one building and then a road. I figure we got to have some little alleyways. So multiple buildings is probably the better way to go. We will get some more planning done on this one here. But I have got my netherite chest plate on, which means it's battle time and voice crack time. But what I want to do here is, as you can see, I got a lot of torches on me. It's time that we jump down here and see if we can't light up this area. That mountain eventually over here and that one right there, we're probably going to be taking it down. But first and foremost, I'm not even able to sleep up in this area because of how many monsters are spawning down here. So I kind of want to just run around here real fast, see if we can't spam in a bunch of torches without dying. and just do this and see where we can get with all of these ones. And okay, first enemy is a creeper. Second enemy is zombies. Oh gosh. No, I want that gunpowder. I need that. I need that gunpowder. Thank you very much. I don't know why this area is light over here, but I think there's a little bit of a lighting glitch or something. Oh, there's even a cave right in here. That's lovely. All right, I will say with full netherite armor, I feel very, very strong. Not much is really damaging me in here. I was just getting shot by skeletons. I was getting hit by zombies and all that. And I feel like I didn't really take much damage there. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, this is probably going to make a lot more mobs spawn up above ground, which is really not the best thing. So we might need to go back to making some of those channels underground. I used to dig out these giant strips underground that were just empty areas full of mob spawnable spaces. I just left dark, and I feel like that is not a bad idea to do again this time. I think that's pretty much everything we can get out of the area that we're able to explore to without breaking blocks. I think that's where we'll leave it. As long as they're not able to crawl out of here and come attack us above ground, that's probably pretty good, and we can run around a little bit if we need to get a point where we can sleep at. Now getting back above ground to the point that you probably all have been waiting for is it's time to start planning out this upper area. I've been really excited to get this project going and getting everything up here. I spent a little bit of time in Photoshop trying to figure out a general idea of what I want to see up here, where the building structures are going to go and everything like that. And I think I can fit it into the space that we have here. It's going to be a little wonky, but I think we can make this one work. So folks, without any further ado, let's go ahead and kick this off into a slower replay mod, time-lapse mode, and we're going to talk about how we're going to lay this out and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Now for this build here, I had the fun idea of coming here to the front and making it look like the bow of a ship, like the front of a boat of sorts. Here in the center, you'll see me trying to figure this thing out. It's going to take a few tries. This is not the final result. I just need to get some blocks down here so I could have something in mind. One thing that I really try and go for when I'm doing a lot of terraforming or when I'm doing a lot of building or planning a build is this isn't the final copy. This is just a base framework, a base outline. This thing's going to change a lot as we go through the process. So keep that in mind as we're moving throughout here. But anyways, the structure I'm building off there with the light blue is going to be like a living quarters. So like general folks who might be helping out, maybe like the servants of the building or the general, just like not the admiral really person. Then this red one here is going to be a meeting hall overlooking that little bay where we're going to put an awesome boat in it. And then I want to have a little garden area right here and a big old tower, probably a lighthouse of sorts on the end corner, mostly ornamental and just fancy. And then over here is going to be the admiral's home in the light blue. And then continued on into the red, they're going to have like another diagonal build section to it, which is going to extend the home even further. Probably a cool balcony area, maybe a way to access the top of the roof. And finally, another little final one for another servant or like a kitchen or something off to the side, which I think would be really cool. Hopefully that plan gives a little bit more context behind what I have going on here, what I want to be doing with this new manor house of sorts that we have up here, the mansion. I think it's going to be very cool to build. All of these structures should be pretty much interconnected. We'll have to find some way to connect this guy over here, where I did not mean to break those, to this structure over here. Maybe we'll have like, this could be like a wall with like a walkway across the top of it. I think that could be really sweet. I ended up coming throughout here and adding in a bunch of cobblestone down below, as you can see. And I thickened up all of these walls to be too thick, so that means we can add a lot more detail with the windows and everything like that. And as I don't really build many interiors, I feel like I could just kind of shrink the buildings down a little bit. Like we have this one over here that's only a 3 wide interior with the 2 thick walls, but I think it's going to allow me to make a really cool exterior structure of the building. In the middle here, I didn't really talk about this one. It's going to be more of like a parade grounds of sorts is my original plan right now. So we're going to have a big flagpole here in the center. And then we have this little central walkway area, how we get up here, which is going to be like I'm going to try and make it look like a wooden or a stone boat of sorts. And quickly flying over to here to the wizard castle, I'll give you a decent idea of what I'm kind of aiming for with this one. Is down in front of the wizard castle, we have these end crystals and this little front area right here. That's the vibe that I want to go for. Granted, we're not going to have a giant gate on top of it, but that's the general idea where you come up this way, a little bit of a walkway, and then you split off to the 2 different sides. You can reach yourself back up into the center, but it should be pretty sweet. I'm really excited to get this build done here. And one thing that I'm kind of thinking about doing is we have the dock right over here, right? Like this thing is, it's pretty massive. We got to figure out a way to corner that one off, so I'll get that done here soon. But this area back in here, I think what I'm going to end up doing is actually hollowing out a lot of this and turning it into more of an ocean floor like we have over here. So we'll have a very protected bay area. And then the final wall of this area is going to actually be going along that edge of it and probably ending right around there. But anyways, what I wanted to do is where I have those cobblestone pillars is I'm going to be bringing a bit of a pathway coming down here. Come on, please stop flying. And we're going to have a pathway coming down here we'll have like its own walkway along the edge here, which would probably be about this high off of the water. So it's gonna be a little skinny down here underneath the edge of the cliff, but that's where we're gonna be putting like the Admiral's boat. So if you have any ideas on this giant boat thing that we can throw down here, that'd be super, super cool. Oh, we can see the cliffs all the way from here. And with that, folks, the start of a new dock section over here is now ready to go. I'm super excited for this one. I think it's going to be really, really cool. Unfortunately, it's a lot more digging that I have to do, but I found a new friend. I found a new little cod boy over here. If you have any name ideas for him, I think we're going to just let him swim off over here. But if you have any name ideas, be sure to let me know and we can come back and give him a name. But he seems like a good buddy as he's running away from us. But anyways, if things look a little bit different right now, one, I have shaders on. I know, wow, very different. But two, I downloaded the new update of the BSL shaders and they are absolutely amazing. They came out like a week ago or something like that. And check out the underwater section of these. It's so visible. This is the first shaders that I've ever seen that are actually like super visible underwater, which is absolutely insane. We've got a bunch of cod swimming around over here. They seem to really like the reef area, but I just thought that was so absolutely awesome that I had to show you all this one to end off today's episode. But folks, please be sure to click that like button if you did enjoy. All of the support for this series is absolutely amazing, so thank you all so very much for doing that. I am so very inspired to be working in this world here again, so I hope y'all are enjoying it. And if you have not already, please consider clicking that subscribe button. We are flying towards 350,000 subscribers, which I was never really expecting, but I really do appreciate all of your support, folks, on that front there. But that is it from me today. I will catch you, my friends, on the flip side.